Fans of rock music suffered a great loss on March 25th when Taylor Hawkins, considered the heart of the Foo Fighters, passed away from drug-related causes. If you ever wanted to know more about the man behind the drums, here's the untold truth of Taylor Hawkins. Taylor Hawkins had played with the Foo Fighters since 1997, taking over for the band's first drummer, William Goldsmith. The change proved to be a natural fit, as Hawkins had been thriving with the world-renowned rock band. The New York Times described his drumming style as an amalgamation of Stuart Copeland of the Police and Roger Taylor of Queen. It would have been unlikely for the Foo Fighters to recruit an unknown musician off the street to play with a superstar like Dave Grohl.
Hitting drums just today.
Me hablo drums.
So they didn't. They hired Taylor Hawkins. Hawkins had been playing the drums since the age of 10. His musical ambitions set ablaze after attending a concert by the British powerhouse Queen in 1982. He told Kerrang in an interview posted in 2021, "It changed everything, and I was never the same because of it. It was the beginning of my obsession with rock and roll, and I knew that I wanted to be in a huge rock band." The Queen concert in September 1982 at the Irvine Meadows Amphitheater was an extremely pivotal moment in the life of young Taylor Hawkins. He told Kerrang, "After that concert, I don't think I slept for 3 days. I was just starting to get into the drums, and Roger Taylor became my hero." Queen's drummer became an influence and source of technique to the young Hawkins. He told 60 Minutes in 2014, "I wanted to be Roger Taylor and I wanted to be in Queen." Hawkins got to regularly play out that fantasy in a way during Foo Fighters' 2021-2022 tour. According to E! News, Hawkins would routinely emerge from behind the drum kit and switch places with frontman Dave Grohl in order to belt out Queen's powerful ballad, Somebody to Love. In 2019, Hawkins got the chance to play with his idol when Taylor played on Get the Money, Hawkins' album with his band the Coattail Riders. The two monumental drummers struck up a friendship, and when Hawkins died in 2022, Taylor, on Instagram, likened the loss to that of a younger favorite brother.
The exuberance that he played the drums, which is why it's so heartbreaking to know that he won't be doing that.
Other prominent members of the worldwide music community expressed their shock and grief over the untimely death of Taylor Hawkins. Liam Gallagher of Oasis posted on Twitter, "Absolutely devastated to hear the sad news about Taylor Hawkins. My thoughts and prayers are with his family and friends. R.I.P. brother." Mick Jagger himself also weighed in, tweeting, "So incredibly sad to hear of the passing of Taylor Hawkins. My thoughts are with his family and the band at this time." Roger Taylor, the Queen drummer who first inspired Hawkins, wrote, "He was a kind, brilliant man and an inspirational mentor to my son Rufus, and the best friend one could ever have. Devastated." Fellow drummer Ringo Starr tweeted, "God bless Taylor. Peace and love to all his family and the band. Peace and love." The musician Phineas also tweeted his sense of loss, writing, "So heartbroken to hear about Taylor Hawkins' passing. What an incredible talent, who didn't also need to be so kind and generous and cool, but was all those things too anyway. The world was so lucky to have his gifts for the time that it did." While their spacey, keyboard-driven progressive sound differs greatly from Foo Fighters' brand of alternative meets arena rock, Yes had a lot in common with Dave Grohl's post-Nirvana project. For example, both are inductees into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and both continued on for years well after they could have feasibly ended, thanks in large part to the efforts of Taylor Hawkins. The drummer joined Foo Fighters in 1997 as an urgent replacement for the band's previous drummer, William Goldsmith. According to the Chattanooga Pulse, Hawkins attended high school with John Davison, a musician who played bass for the 90s jam band Sky Cries Mary, sang with the prog rock group Glass Hammer, and also played with Roundabout, a Yes tribute band named for one of its best-known songs. When John Anderson was fired from Yes in 2008 after decades with the band, bassist Chris Squire started looking around for new singers and thought of Davison because of Hawkins' recommendation. Squire said, "My friend Taylor Hawkins had been telling me for years, if you ever need a replacement, I know exactly the guy." When he wasn't jamming with the Foo Fighters, Taylor Hawkins found the time to make lots of music with a number of other lower-profile, musically explorative side projects. In 2006, 2010, and 2019, Hawkins released solo albums under the moniker Taylor Hawkins and the Coattail Riders. The last album involved a slew of incredible musical collaborators like Chrissie Hynde of The Pretenders, Nancy Wilson of Heart, Joe Walsh of the Eagles, Duff McKagan of Guns N' Roses, and country singer LeAnn Rimes. According to Rolling Stone, Hawkins also established Chevy Metal, which the musician called a 70s dirt rock cover band that played covers of semi-obscure songs by some of his favorite classic rock acts. Two members of Chevy Metal, bassist Wiley Hodgson and guitarist Mick Murphy, also teamed up with Hawkins for the power trio Birds of Satan, which put out its one and only album in 2014. In 2020, Hawkins put together another three-piece band, NHC, a supergroup named after the initials of its members, Dave Navarro of Jane's Addiction and the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Hawkins, and Jane's Addiction bassist Chris Chaney. Somewhat unlike many of his publicly divorced rock and roll peers, Taylor Hawkins was very quiet about his offstage life as a long-married husband and father of multiple children. According to the Sydney Morning Herald, Taylor married his wife Allison Hawkins in 2005. Hawkins rarely spoke about a spouse, but did admit to writing a song about the relationship on the 2019 Taylor Hawkins and the Coattail Riders album Get the Money called I Really Blew It. The marriage of Taylor and Allison Hawkins resulted in 3 children. Oldest son Oliver was born in 2008. Daughter Annabelle came along the next year, and 5 years later the couple welcomed another child named Everly. Equally reluctant to share much with the media about his children, Taylor's kids did serve as musical inspiration. According to Joe Daly, Taylor wrote a song in honor of Annabelle appropriately titled Middle Child. For more than 20 years, Taylor Hawkins was one of the most famous musicians in the world. He almost always looked like he was having a great time on stage and in videos, bashing away at the drums. The man clearly liked being a drummer, and he enjoyed it so much that it was an interest he was happy to share with regular people far outside of his orbit of celebrity. On March 22, 2022, per CNN, Foo Fighters were supposed to play at the Asunción Nico Festival in Paraguay, only for the show to be canceled over severely inclement weather. 9-year-old Paraguayan drummer Emma Sofia didn't get to see Hawkins' Foo Fighters, so instead, she acted on a tip from a family friend who let her know the hotel where the group was staying. Sofia brought her drum kit, set it up, and played a half-hour's worth of Nirvana and Foo Fighters songs to a crowd that cheered so loud it caught Hawkins' attention. He came outside, apologized to the fans for the canceled show, and sought out Sofia. Hawkins took a photo with her and they chatted for a while. Sofia's father told CNN, "She said that day was about to be the worst day of her life and suddenly turned into the best day of her life."